All right. There we go. Hi. My name is Brian Braunlich. I am the lead product manager at Springshot, based here in San Francisco. Our designer, Tanma, is here as well, and she handled all design for this, for our mobile mission workflow. Springshot is a holistic operations platform across both web and mobile, designed to bring operations into the digital age. And we have a primary focus on the airline industry. To help explain what we do and who we serve, it can be helpful to think about a time when you've taken a flight or when you're going to take a flight. Maybe it was to come to this conference, or maybe you're going to be flying home for the holidays in a couple of weeks. Whenever you embark on that journey, you're being aided every step of the way in some ways that you might not even think about. Your bags are being checked through to the proper gate. They're being loaded and scanned by baggage agents. You're greeted at the ticketing counter and at the gate, and these services are being audited by the airlines to ensure quality control. Your plane has been cleaned, it's been fueled and catered to ensure high-quality experience. Ramp agents are there to make sure the plane is safely taxied in and out of the gate on its way. And if you require a wheelchair, a porter is there to help take you from gate to gate, from the airport to the gate, etc. When it comes to the Springshot mobile application, these are our primary users. The agents who cater, who clean, who handle baggage, and do all what we call below-the-wing work for the airlines. But until Springshot, these agents were performing their jobs with really minimal information provided in, frankly, ancient ways. Agents would visit a central hub or office to print off each assignment. We call these missions. They'd take that piece of paper and they'd head to the gate to perform the mission. But if the flight they were servicing had switched gates, or if it had experienced a delay, paper can't provide that update. So they would often find themselves on the tarmac, stuck there with no idea what was happening, unaware, until a call came down from the tower with the update for them. And the only way for these users to get a new assignment would be to go back to the office, print out an entirely new document, and start the whole broken process again. Springshot simplifies that by serving as the central hub for all mission-related information, provided to workers both on the ground and managers in the tower. We import flight feeds from each airline we work with, and we display that information both in web and in mobile. Assignments are then made through our platform and processed to users on the ground in real time. So we had a mobile app, but our existing mobile workflow had really outdated UX and design, and it was difficult for our users to adopt, especially workers who may not own or be familiar with smartphones, which is a strong number of our user base. It included too much information across the board, which made it really difficult for those users to parse which information was really important to them to actually perform their work. And the workflow itself was overcomplicated, requiring too many actions to complete a mission. So because of all of this, we set out recently to design a completely new, overhauled mission workflow. Whenever starting a new project, I like to think of the product hierarchy as follows. Above all, a product has to be useful. It has to do something of value for the user. If it's useful, then it needs to be usable. It needs to be something that the person can actually interact with and figure out how to get from step to step on. And once it fulfills both of those two, then we can worry about making it beautiful. Our existing app was useful in many ways. It did provide useful information that was burdensome for the user to access, but it was really difficult to use, and it was certainly not beautiful. So our goal with the new app was to ensure that it was extremely useful to our users, even more useful than our prior app, that it was easy to use, and then once we'd accomplished those, to make it look great. We always begin with a kickoff meeting to align our team around a common vision. And there we want to identify the answers to the questions that are most important whenever we're designing a new product. So for example, what problem are we trying to solve? Who are our users and what are their pain points? How are we defining success? In this case, we really wanted to improve operational efficiency beyond what we were already doing and gain buy-in from our users, the blue-collar workers on the ground who really do keep the airport functioning. Once we had aligned around our common goals, we set out to do user research, going out and speaking with managers both in the tower and agents on the ground to gain insight from those with a really vested interest in this project's success. People like Tyrone in Maui, who refuels planes every day. He loves his job, he's great at it, and an improved app would really help him perform his tasks more quickly. We followed these users through a typical workday, spending 12 hours a day on the ground, watching them use our existing app, asking questions along the way to understand what motivates them in their job, how they worked before Springshot, how they've worked with Springshot, how they'd like to work with Springshot, and what really drives them crazy so that we can find those pain points and address them. We visited workers who performed all kinds of jobs at SFO, at Oakland, flying out to Atlanta. And as proof, here I am, pretending to be cool, standing uncomfortably close to a very large engine. I promise I have more than one shirt in my wardrobe. And once we'd sufficiently done our research, we got to work designing and building it. And we decided pretty early on to design our app using React Native, which let us unify our Android and iOS platforms under the same design while giving our customers more choice in how to use our service. We split the functionality of the app down into its core components that make it really valuable to our users. So first, a list of upcoming assignments so that the user can easily manage their time. Second, information on each given assignment, so the user knows everything they need to know to be able to perform a given mission. And finally, the workflow itself of a given mission, allowing the user to see additional information and mark their tasks as completed. We iterated on each element a lot. So for example, with the mission list, we began by gathering all of the possible information related to a given flight and squeezing it all in there. But that is a lot of information. It's ETA, ETD, location, down to not just the flight number, but the tail number and the aircraft type. And our users really need to see the most essential information immediately. Again, having to parse and scan through a list of 10 items for the 3 that actually impact their work is time-consuming. So we iterated until we showed only the most valuable information, what the mission is, where the mission needs to be performed, and when it needs to be performed by. The what, where, when. But some users may want to see more information up front. A cleaner, for example, might bring different equipment to a 737 than they'd bring to an Airbus A321. So we added filters so that the user can add that info back in if they want to. Our default is to keep it to the pared down essentials, but the user can add in whatever they would find valuable. And users need to know if a mission is really high priority, so we added in alert styling for overdue missions. Within the mission workflow, we created a side panel to house additional information or functionality. Things that are not strictly required to perform a mission, but may enhance the user's performance. So for example, a user can now access a mission glossary. They can understand each task exactly as the airline wants it performed. They can also leave notes and communicate back with their dispatcher in real time, which solves the communication problem on the tarmac that I described earlier. And we iterated on the behaviors the user would actually take to ensure that any user could pick up the app and navigate between assignments. Again, many of our users have never used a smartphone. So for example, task completion is performed with a simple swipe with an arrow for guidance. The app is localized to work in any language necessary. We're currently working in over 8 languages. And because people should love their jobs, we give them the opportunity to earn XP, to earn points for a good job, which is feedback that they don't currently receive. Once we had a prototype, we circle back around to review the design with the primary stakeholders and make sure that what we built actually does solve the problems we address, and we begin getting into the hands of our user base. So this new workflow actually reduces the amount of time spent interacting with the app by more than 50% by streamlining the process of creating a mission, or completing a mission, and by making it a lot easier to understand what to do and how to get to where you're going. And we've received overwhelmingly positive feedback. So Springshot's mobile app workflow represents, from our perspective, a complete effort to redesign our UX for any kind of user, performing any kind of job. It improves efficiency while helping people love their work. And this is what we try to accomplish. We strive to blend the physical and the digital worlds to really inspire every worker to love their job. And that's all. Thank you.